From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, happy Friday to you all. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger. Let's get you right into Kruger's Quickcast. For those of you that are in a hurry, you just want the forecast for the day. What can you expect as you're heading out the door this morning? Well, here you go. It's not going to be too bad. Not quite as cool as we have been, but we're talking some low, mid-60s for the valley this morning. Looking at the 50s for most of us in the higher elevations, even along the coast. Some fog, some patchy fog along the coast, but I do expect a lot of that fog for the coast to burn off here as we go through the morning hours. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We'll show you that. So 6 a.m. you see some of that fog that we are seeing. It's kind of hovering and staying just off the coast, so I do expect to see mostly sunny skies, maybe some patchy low clouds in some areas around Eureka through the afternoon. Going into the afternoon and evening, now we're starting to see more fog making its way back into Eureka, some of those inland areas, and that continues into tonight as well. Maybe not as bad heading north into places like Crescent City and the southern portions of Humboldt County. But otherwise, we're looking at sunny skies and clear skies for tonight for the rest of us. So today, we're talking about the warmer temperatures to wrap up the work week. That's the case here, right? We're talking about 100 degrees for Redding. Now, as you do head to the south of the valley, temperature's not as hot, but we're still talking at least mid-90s there. 80s, some 90s in the higher elevations, and we're getting in the mid to even some upper 90s for some of the warmer spots inland, and we're talking mid-60s for your daytime highs for the coast. Quick look at your 7-day outlook for the valley. Temperatures, this is something, I feel like a broken record because I've been saying this a lot, up and down, or roller coaster ride, whatever you want to call it, right? Because these temperatures are going down for the weekend, back up, and then back down again. And really, when you look at all of the 7-day outlooks, with the exception of the coast not being as dramatic, we're seeing that trend everywhere else. You see how they're going down a little bit, back up, and then maybe back down a little bit, even for the coast for Wednesday, Thursday. Again, just not as dramatic as everywhere else, right? And then we take you to Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and in the Eastern Mountains, same story, up and down with those temperatures, generally staying in the 80s and 90s for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and even Susanville. But I do expect a bigger trend downward as we get towards the end of next week. All right, before we get to the deeper dive forecast, I do want to show you another beautiful shot. You've been sending in those photos I've been asking, and you've delivered. We've got Jody Hart taking this beautiful picture, sunrise over Neeland. You can kind of see those low clouds, a bit of that marine layer, as a matter of fact. There's that sunrise. Just a gorgeous shot. Thank you, Jordy, for sharing that photo. And if you want to share your sunrise or sunset or any other beautiful photos that you may be taking, you can share them through the free Weather NorCal app on your iPhone and your Android. If you don't have the app, just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal. You'll see this icon, and you can download the app for free. All right, let's take a look at our weather headlines. The summer heat returns today. For many of us, of course, obviously not the coast. That's always pretty much something I don't have to say. You know, if you live on the coast, I'm not talking about you typically, right? But the summer heat returns today for most of us. Then we see a slight drop over the weekend, a hot start to next week, and then another gradual drop through next week. That's an up and down trend. I'm not seeing any major heat waves. I'm not seeing much in the way of rain over the next 7 to 10 days either, and really even extending beyond that. All right, we take a look at the forecast winds here. You can see 4 o'clock today. A little breezy in some spots here, but overall, nothing unusual, nothing to be terribly concerned about. Now, it looks like on Saturday, those winds might pick up, especially in the eastern mountains. This could elevate the fire weather risk. You'll also notice along the coast a bit breezy as well. And we're seeing some slightly stronger winds for the valley too, but once again, nothing terribly alarming, just enough for us to go, hey, you know what, we still need to be careful because the humidity today is going to be down to the single digits, even in the eastern mountains. Your humidity for your Saturday going to be just as low, even for the eastern mountains too. So once again, we do, with those winds picking up a bit, temperatures are going to be on the warm side. The combination of all three of those is going to elevate that fire weather risk, and we just need to be careful. So there you can see some rain up to our north. We still have this broad ridge of high pressure, which is really building in, and we do have some colder storms to our north and west. that will eventually impact our weather down the line, and we'll get into that here in a second. But let's take a look at Futurecast again here for today. You can see some of that fog returning later on today, especially around Humboldt Bay and into tonight. Take you into Saturday morning. There you can see some of that fog making its way even around Highway 101 as well. Saturday afternoon, yeah, a little bit of that fog may be persisting in some areas around Humboldt Bay, but elsewhere we're seeing mainly sunny skies. Then we go into your Sunday morning. There's some of that fog again, some of the typical spots trying to clear out here as we go into Sunday afternoon. And meanwhile, for today all the way through Sunday, we've got sunny skies for pretty much everyone else. Drier than normal conditions. That's what the Climate Prediction Center is putting us in. You can see the overall trend here. So the overall trend is this. We've got high pressure to our south and west and over the desert southwest. Okay, those are what are trying to move in and give us the hot temperatures. And that's what we're seeing here for today. The desert southwest high is what's giving us the hot temperatures for today. But we've got these storm systems, one here, there's another one that did just kind of ride up to the north here, but there's all these storms coming in from the north and west that are kind of riding over those ridges, and that's preventing us from getting as hot as these ridges would like. And that's typical as we start getting more into the fall and getting closer to the winter season. We start seeing this heat kind of shift more to the south, and it's having a harder time kind of moving in. But as we go into the weekend, you see how this kind of rides to the north here. We've got this main area of cooler air. We've got another trough right here. So it's preventing this heat from building in as well as the heat over the eastern Pacific. So that's for the weekend. Just a slight drop from what we're seeing here for today. Now, what we're going to start to see happen is that moves on out, right? And then we've got high pressure, both ridges of high pressure, desert southwest and eastern Pacific, kind of join forces. And we have a little bit more of a prominent ridge here. Now, this is the first day of October. We're looking at temperatures possibly into the triple digits for Monday, Tuesday for the valley, making for a hot start to next week. Okay, so that cooler air, that rises to the north. Then we've got this cooler air right here we've got to keep our eyes on, because as we go through next week, what that will do is it rides down to the south and east. It's going to suppress the heat. This heat gets pushed way off to the west. The desert southwest heat gets pushed down over New Mexico and into Texas and even east of that. And we see temperatures start to slowly drop as a result. Now, this particular forecast model brings that trough low pressure to the south and east. Now, this has a bit of a what we call an inside slider type of path here that can typically give us some stronger winds. Now, this is a long way out, folks. This is going out a week from Saturday. Okay, but this is kind of giving you that overall trend. Now, what I'm seeing here, and this is not guaranteed, even this isn't guaranteed, but I'm seeing here we are on October 5th, right? As we go into October 6th, October 7th, some of the forecast models are taking this ridge right here and shifting it eastward, giving us another bit of a mini heat wave. So, yeah, I mean, the trends are not really bringing much in the way of fall-like or winter type of weather, more of a summer type. Summer's trying to hold on here, folks, and it's holding on tight, even as we go into October. Now, again, this solution's not guaranteed. This just kind of gives you a general idea of what we're seeing here in the long range. So we look at the overall temperature outlook. Now, what we're beginning to see is we're seeing less and less of these darker colors, which is a better chance of seeing above normal temperatures. We're seeing lesser and lesser of that over Northern California. So as a result, this is kind of that trend of temperatures at least trying to start to drop. So let's take a look at the overall trend based on the latest forecast model data. And you can see temperatures going up today, a slight dip over the weekend, going back up again. It's that mini, small kiddie roller coaster ride, right? But it's going down and up and then down. But we start to see a little bit more of a dramatic drop. Right, we're getting closer to normal by the time we get to the end of next week into that next weekend. But remember what I was saying, some of the models wanted like trend Sunday and then maybe that next Monday upward. So we'll see. I wouldn't project 100-degree temperatures at this point. As we do go into that ridge of high pressure may not be as strong, but we're not getting out of the 90s at least for quite a while here. That's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the wave heights. Now, the wave heights are going to be increasing today. So When we look at the marine forecast, you'll see that there's a small correct advisory in there, but that's not until this evening and into tomorrow. Because you can see as we go into Saturday, we're not seeing much change here. Still fairly high wave heights, especially heading out to sea. But there you can see north winds at 10 to 15 knots. Your waves from the north at 5 feet at 7 seconds, and from the northwest at 6 feet at about 13 seconds. Again, that small correct advisory, not until this evening, into tonight, and into your Saturday. Okay, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperature is mid to upper 90s for your daytime highs, although some of the cooler spots like Burnt Ranch about 89, 75 out towards Mad River and Ruth about 92 degrees. Temperatures across the board. Mountains, inland, valley, you know what I'm going to say, up and down, roller coaster ride all the way for the next 7 days. All right, so even the coast is probably going to see that trend as well. Let's take you to the north coast here, right? So there you can see the coast. See how they're dropping a little bit Saturday, Sunday, back up again, and then maybe back down again. All right, so 72 degrees for Blue Lake for today, 64 degrees in Eureka, and it's getting warmer inland again. We're back in the low 90s for Garberville, but a little bit warmer out towards Orleans with 98. 94 for Hoopa, 95 in Willow Creek, 77 Smith River, and Trinidad about 72 degrees. Up and down with those temperatures for Siskiyou County. There you can see Mount Shasta up and down there. You can see Etna about 88, 85 degrees for Weed today, and Mount Shasta high today of about 88 degrees. Modoc County, up and down, right? 7-day forecast. I don't have to say it, right? 85 degrees for Tule Lake, 89 for Canby, 88 for Eagleville, and Aden about 88 degrees here. Eastern Mountains, I'm not going to say it, but you know what I want to say, right? There it is, your 7-day forecast for Susanville. 89 for Chester, 85 for Mineral, 90 in Paradise, Susanville about 89 degrees. All right, let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast. New sponsor, by the way, for the neighborhood forecast. Very excited to welcome Walgamuth Painting as the Valley neighborhood sponsor. Want to welcome them. Thank you for your support. There you can see 96 degrees for Corning, 95 degrees for Orland, and 93 degrees for Durham. Let's take you up north, and there you can see 97 for Lakehead, 100 in Bella Vista, 100 for Palo Cedro, and Red Bluff, about 98 degrees. So let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Oh yeah, it's back up to 100 degrees today. Upper 90s for Saturday, Sunday, back up to 100 degrees by Monday, Tuesday. And then that drop for Wednesday and Thursday. That is your morning update. I'll be back at noon for your latest update.